Here I am at Temple Ombo, down near to Aswan. It's the 27th of March 2012. You can see the mixture of Roman ruins and ancient Egyptian ruins, and here's some lovely old blocks. Here is my ticket for Ombo. I'm just about to enter. There's quite a lot of tourists here today who've come by boat from Luxor and from Aswan. First time I've been to this temple, and my first view is of Roman capitals, Corinthian capitals, obviously altered by the Romans. Or maybe the Romans got the idea from here. See the Nile, and you can see the modern city there in the distance. All the Nubian cupolas here on the coffee shops. But this is very interesting to start with, the way these stones are curved. It's very similar to the well I saw at Medinet Habu. Already you can see the keystone cuts in the stones and how beautifully the blocks are made. See the quality of the hieroglyphics here. I would think because of the height here, this may have been underwater a few times, but not as often as Luxor Temple. A beautiful quality here of the hieroglyphs. The detail in the birds and the lion heads. Fabulous quality. Again, you can see in those blocks there, on the top of that doorway, the key cuts, but the key cuts are on the bottom, so obviously those stones have been reused at some point. While these walls have been patched up, they seem to have been patched up in a much more sympathetic way than the walls that I saw yesterday in Luxor Temple. Beautiful hairstyles on the women and the offerings. We're down here in Nubia now, and the people look very similar to these carvings. There is detail here which I've never seen in another Egyptian temple, like these bamboo style friezes here. This is the Roman wall, and you can see the small Roman brickwork in comparison to the ancient Egyptian. You can see here the way these blocks are shaped. They're not perfectly perpendicular. And the ancient paving stones here. Worn down by centuries of feet. Doesn't seem to be any particular reason for this being closed, but closed it is. This is the remnants of an obelisk, and it's quite interesting to see the other kinds of stones that are actually in the surface, as if they were impressed into it when it was cast. They certainly haven't been done recently because they are within situ. You can see here the Horus statue and the cartouches. Again, the cartouches have this interesting stone detail inside the stone. A selection here of stone sarcophagus. Interesting to see that they haven't been spoiled by having the corners chopped off. See the Roman wall here and a Roman statue. See the keystone cuts in the top of this wall, and you can see the way that the stones aren't cut or lined up, but fit perfectly together. Impossible to put even a piece of paper between them. The pavement here is, it looks like basalt. The whole inner pavement here. And I'll be interested to see if I can see any of those cable channels that Professor Temple talks about. You see the beautiful quality again inside. Instead of these being sized inwards, they actually stand proud of the stone. Some more of those griffins here, like I saw at the Philae temple, and this beautiful pyramid-shaped carving here on the stone. It's been a long journey to get here today, but it's worth it already. Approaching the temple now. Here is another one of those altars, similar in size to the ones you can see inside the Karnak temple. This one appears to be sandstone, but you can see here the detail of the different layers of stone, especially here. You can see where the old is chipped off to a certain depth, and then the stone underneath. You can see the remnants of the paint here on the stone, and the way how in antiquity the faces have been hacked out but the bodies have been left. You see the way that this flask is showering angst down on the people, and you can see this symbol for corn all along the bottom here. On the drive down here we've passed many fields full of corn and sugar cane, and now bananas. In fact, this is the best carving I've seen in Egypt so far of a crocodile. See the capitals here with the flared tops, that one there with the zigzags, and these with all the different type of details. In fact, they're all different. The coloured roof. And you can see the zigzag cuts in this basalt pavement, which, now I'm walking barefoot, is actually cold underfoot. This whole wall is in a red granite, and John Anthony West has pointed out to me before that the joins, where they put the joins in these wall friezes, are specific. You can see here Sekhmet and Isis and Ra and Horus. stone. Obviously appreciated to be put immediately inside the door. All the capitals here of a uniform size, and the different layers of the temple very similar to Medinet Habu, but here much smaller. You can see here key cuts in these walls all along in the interior of the blocks. See how beautifully they're made. Also on this wall, key cuts all along the wall, and the Roman wall there. See the way the stones have been cut to make this non-square. So the key cuts here used in the interior. See this wall frieze here with the papyrus growing. Apparently papyrus only grows in still water, so they must have cultivated it in pools. See the antelopes and the cattle. And this man here with bulbous breasts and a bulbous stomach and bulbous thighs. Key cuts here, all through here. And some black basalt statues, or the remnants of them. This one looked to be some kind of altar. Maybe this was the same. It almost looks like it's been dropped. See how the top of these walls have been smoothed off, probably by people sharpening weapons. This one looks as if it's been eroded somehow. The quality of the stones between here and here, whilst the blocks look the same, you can see these are of a superior design, almost rounded at the corners. These are obviously pools of water. See the remnants of the colour here on these antelopes. And here, as if dropped, is a massive block of red granite. Beautifully, pristinely cut. You can see the sparkle of the surface, of the quartz in the surface here. See the quality of the carvings here, and of the vulture. You can see the precision with which this wall is lined up, and the way which the cuts are staggered. Wall here of carvings. You can see the enormous jet pillar there with the flail and the crook. See the offering being taken with holy wine, so see what it would have been these days. Here is a picture of what looks like to be some kind of machine. You can see the fan belt and the two drive wheels. You can see here a Roman figure incised into the stone. See the headdress like the Statue of Liberty or Cleopatra Selene. Selene meaning moon. Long vistas here all to myself. The rest of the guests have gone back to their ship for lunch. On the way down here, just where the road forked off from Marsa Alam down to Ombo, we came across a massive Roman fortress, or the remains of it, up on the hilltop. The walls looked to be about 5 meters thick, and you could clearly see into the compound, but I doubt we'll have time on the way back to go and have a look, because after we've been here at Ombo, we're going up to Edfu. See the way each of the faces here with the cartouche on their loincloth, how all the faces have been dished in. This wall is made from sandstone. And just to make a statement, here we are, a massive stone slab just propping up the Roman wall. It's usual in Egypt, there's lots of garbage everywhere. I mean, the guards stand around with nothing much to do. You think they could just pick a bit of rubbish up. And here, in the top of this stone, is the remnants of a keystone cut. This stone is sandstone. It's just coming up to midday, and you can hear the muezzin calling to prayer, which means I'll probably get 10 minutes peace from the people, from the guards here. You can see some more of those people with the cartouches on their loincloths, and these too have their faces dished. See the size of this foot? You can gauge from it the size of the carving that used to be here. And look here at these blocks, you can see how jammed together they are, as if they've been cast in place. See the remnants of the colours under the cornice. Unusual detail here on this capital. Almost looks like a bat's face with the ears, pointy ears. As you can see, keystone cuts everywhere. And also down here in the basalt floor. This looks to be a bathing pool. Almost like a splash pool, and you can see there the overflow. You can imagine sitting here waist deep in lovely cool water on the baking hot days. There has probably come some kind of woven shade over the top. See here, climb away, the overflows have been carved also from stone, and the side channels here as if going off to somewhere else. From the Nile, but I suppose the Nile was much higher, so it was a period in the wells. And look at this interesting detail where the water would run off. Obviously this must have been brimming for the water to have run off. You can see there drains going off to other places to provide a nice fresh water supply where required. You can see the intricate way that the stones have been shaped to go around the bottom, and there is actually some very horrible green water in here. stones in the black basalt pavement. See a stretching of the chord ceremony here. Beautifully done, as if it's been impressed into wet stone. See here how these pebbles are inset inside the stone. And how worn down these steps are from centuries of use, no doubt. Everywhere. And here we are at the sanctuary with the frieze showing Sobek and one of the goddesses, looks like all chipped away as if to write them out of history. You can see down there one of those mercury bulbs that's been smashed and just left here. See the stone, which is a particularly dark colour from all the others, with a particularly fine frieze on it, with the king with the crowns of Upper and Lower Egypt, and the goddess with the two feathers, with fresh blooming papyrus. I wonder what calls were made in prayer here in antiquity. See these staffs with the head like pterodactyls, and the ankh and the two arms. The only other bird I know with a similar crest to that is a hoopoe, but I haven't actually seen one since I've been back in Egypt. I wonder if this is an ancient mountain block set here. We know their apparent use. And here we come now to the Roman stuff. See how it's deteriorated in the poor condition. Roman stuff all over this wall. And there's the checkpoint down there where I came in, and as usual lots of flats where all the people live here, and the beautiful green fields all around. You can see where there are two different styles that have been used in creating this large stela. And usually where there is one, there's usually another, but not here. See there, a chimney of a brick factory, very similar to an obelisk. If this wasn't actually a well, it looks to be some kind of bathing pool, but here outside the temple, as if you had to wash before you could go inside. See the keystone cuts? See the gentle curve here of the wall? So here endeth my visit to Ombo.